Well, I know we're here to talk about basketball, but I would be remiss if I didn't say a tremendous thanks to Jeff Long for providing me the opportunity to come here and be the head coach here at Arkansas. I mean, he's been an unbelievable leader, and it's kind of I guess it's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around it. Things that have transpired, today. And so forgive me on that there. So if you ask me what are your thoughts, I hadn't had a chance to wrap my mind around it. So, but again, Jeff, he's been a great leader here. I think he's done some tremendous things. One of the things I know just from being here before and then coming back here, he's made the experience for our student athletes once in a lifetime. It's helping prepare these kids for life beyond athletics when they leave here. And so I got to say that he's been a big help to me, even as we recruit kids coming in here. So again, for he and family, they welcome me and my family here with open arms. So I want to get that out there. The other part of it is Julie has been named interim, and have all the confidence in her, continue to move us forward. And I've already had a chance to meet with her, and that's what we talked about. Just steam full head, we're going forward, and what we're doing right now. So with that being said, again, it's something you don't. It doesn't happen every day, and so and I'm just having a hard time trying to wrap my mind around it. But at the same time, I know that he brought me here to do a job, and we're going to do it to the best of our abilities. And as we get ready to play a Fresno State team that I think is a very dangerous basketball team. They're guard-oriented. They're shooting over 50% from the field. And our team is have a nice little rhythm right now. So, but it's a challenge. Big guards. The Taylor kids lead them in scoring. We have two Taylor kids. They're shooting the ball 53% from three-point land and 57 from the field. So it's a team that's very much so like Bucknell. They got some veterans on that team, and coached by Coach Terry, who used to coach with Rick Barnes at Texas. So it's an opportunity for us to get better, and that's what we always talk about with our team as we move forward in our season. All right, got a question? Go right ahead.
Mike, Jeff and his wife were in here, Sunday for your presser.
Yes.
I mean, did you have any inkling this was going to happen? Did you get any indication from Jeff, or when you heard? When did you hear about it? And just how surprised were you?
I got here this morning about 8. I worked out, and then I got the news right after that. So no, it's like I said, it's just like a bombshell to me today. So.
Have you been able to get an explanation from anybody about why it happened?
Have not, Bob. Have not got any information, any feedback at this point in time.
Coach, we know how well Daryl and Jalen work on the court together. What's their dynamic like off the court and during practice?
Well, these guys, I had a chance to take these guys to the media day with me up in Nashville, and I guess I spent a lot of time with our kids. But to see them interacting, they're like some, we normally call it brothers from another mothers. I mean, it's like they're from other mothers, but they're like brothers, and that's very unusual for two outstanding junior college All-American players. But I think that's the maturity that has taken place over a year. You come here and you try to do your own thing, but at the same time you got to be a part of a team. But I think now they know that. Playing together and working together will benefit the team to the utmost, and it will highlight each one of them, their characteristics and what they bring out on the floor. Daryl is a more emotional kind of guy. Jalen is an even keel kind of guy, but they're like brothers, and they've been good for our basketball team.
Coach, with all this distraction off the court, how do you keep your guys dialed in and locked in to the task at hand?
You said the word right there. That's what we've been worked on. That's been our mantra. Dialed in, next level. The basketball part of it. That's That's what we've been focusing on. Our guys trying to two things they should be focusing on. That's basketball and the books. And I go books and basketball. How about that?
Yeah. Mike, what do you thought of Daniel Gafford's playing the first 2 games? And he's played real well in my not expert opinion, but in 33 minutes he's got 10 fouls, fouled out twice. How concerned is that? What's he got to do, or what do you got to get him to do so he's not always in foul trouble?
What's your expert opinion on, Bob? I'm just trying to get the expert opinion.
Well, I don't know basketball like you do. I think he's played pretty well, but I want to know what you think.
Yeah. I think Daniel, you can see the upside. You can see why we get excited about him. You can't teach 6'11". You can't teach that athletic ability, the quickness. He has a big-time motor. He's one of those guys that can quick jump and go get the basketball, and he's relentless, and sometimes that gets him in trouble. And so we've got to kind of calm some of that down because we get a lot of over-the-back fouls or just some touch fouls. But the only way you figure that out is through playing. And so if we can continue to get him minutes out on the floor, I think you'll see him make those subtle adjustments on the defense end because he could wreak havoc on the defensive because of his length and his athletic ability. But the things that he brings to the table, man, are so valuable for our basketball team, especially for a guy that size. And so now all he's got to do is just continue to take up the opportunity to learn from, let's say, the miscues, which most of his has been my fouls. He played, I think, 15 minutes or 17 minutes the other night, and he could have easily played 20-plus, but he fouled out. So we got to work on that.
Do you think a young guy is going to say, hey, I want to be on the court, so I'm going to figure it out and not get the ticky-tack fouls?
Yes, and that's the experience that you gain. You look at and you'll see it with him. They'll keep changing before your eyes. Each game we go out. And, of course, you'll see it even with a guy like Darius Hall. I think each game you'll see those guys kind of learn as they move on. And the beauty of it is that, we talk about leaders on this team. You got guys out there that are really talking to them, during the play, such as Trey Thompson. Telling guys, hey, you can't play with your hands. You got to move your feet. Or Anton Beard. We got a lot of stuff going on that floor, which is, for a coach, it takes away where I have to say it all the time. So those guys are starting to take a little ownership in terms of helping those guys get better.
Coach, probably not a question you get every day, but can you speak a little to the journey of JT Plummer, kind of from joining the team and then moving on to playing in these first 2 games?
JT Plummer, it's crazy how that's taking place because JT he's in his senior year as being a manager, and of course I think his dream when he first came here was to walk on as a freshman. That didn't happen, so he became a manager. And through the course of this year, we had some guys out. We didn't have any subs, and so we always thought about let's keep him around just in case. So we did all the paperwork to make sure that he was eligible to practice and all that stuff. And then I think he started liking it a little bit. So we sat down with him. He and Coach Zimmerman and I sat down with him and said, hey, which one you want to do? You want to be a manager? You want to walk on the team? And he said, Coach, whatever you guys need me for, because we were shorthanded, with guys being suspended, guys with concussions, guys out. And lo and behold, he made the decision he wanted to dress out, and I never seen anything like it. We played 2 regular season games. I don't think he even played in the exhibition games. 2 regular season games, this guy gets in both of them. It's been an unbelievable journey for this kid here. He is in hog heaven right now.
It seems like he really likes that in and out dribble. He used it a lot last year to set up shots. Like these first 2 games, it looks like he's really made it a point to get into the lane and dish off to guys. What have you thought about his evolution as a playmaker?
I think that's something that, obviously with the feedback, one of the things, if you're going to play, he's got to learn to play with the ball and without the ball. And the good players make other people better. And with his quickness, because he can get in lanes, he can make plays, and he got pretty good vision. Now you just got to make good decisions. And so that's a progression because he had never played with that kind of talent before. And it all goes back to trusting. He was the best player on the junior college team, so he probably took all the shots. He probably did everything. And so now, guess what? I get a chance to to play with other guys and look like a more well-rounded player. So that was the charge for he and for Barford. You guys have got to become more complete players, and that even transfers to on defense as well.
Mike, they're averaging, Fresno State's averaging about 92 plus per game. I'm assuming they like to get up and down the floor with that also.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be an up-tempo game. They got a lot of guys that play the guard position. The Hobson kid is a really good basketball player. He's about 6'5", 6'6", but he's a very, very versatile player, much kind of like in the mode of Darius Hall. A very good basketball player. Can get to the basket, will dunk it over you, very athletic. And the Williams kid is a very, very good basketball player. He's one of those kids can go inside and outside, really runs the floor, and he jumps out of the gym. So it's a team that has some guys that you got to cover inside, but they also can attack and spot up. And the Taylor kid, the Deshaun kid, I think he had 6 threes in the last game, and they were from deep. So we've got to, no question about it, pay attention to the three-point line. And we got to rebound the basketball. They've got 22 offensive rebounds on 2 games, so that means they go to the glass. And as you said, they score a lot. So it's going to be an up-tempo game. We like to score. They like to score. So let's go at it.
Hey, Mike, you talked about their guards. They have some older guards. Obviously, guards are the strength of your team. What do you think about the guard matchup? Pretty good depth and talent on both teams.
I think it's going to be a good matchup from that standpoint. Like I said, both the Taylor kids and then you got the Hopkins kids as well. They have a transfer in the Boys. I think the Boys kid from Pacific. He's a really good basketball player. They got, if I'm not mistaken, they got almost 6 guys in double figures. So that tells you they got balance. They got some guys averaging 9.5 points a game. So they got balance. They got guys coming off the bench. So it should be a good matchup, and that's going to be the challenge for our guys is, to make these guys uncomfortable as they come in here.
You mentioned Ronnie Terry being from Texas, or a long-time Rick Barnes guy. How well do you know him, and what do you think? It looks like he's built a pretty nice program at Fresno.
Fresno's always got a great tradition. I mean, you think back to the team that Shark had there, and they've had some teams that coming out of the Mountain West. It's a very good league. So, and Rodney has done a good job of going in and getting players. He got players from all over, and they play with a certain edge. And last year, I think they believe they made it to the NIT. So it's a progression of his program, implementing what he wants to do. And he worked with Rick Barnes at Texas. So I know it's a team that's going to come in here with nothing to lose and everything to gain. So we're going to get their best shot. It'll be their first game on the road. So I'm anxious to see how we continue to play. It's all about continuity, and we want to be consistent in our play. And our play starts on defense first. Defense first.
Has there been any updates on any of your guys that have been suspended, or like Garland? Is he's
no update yet. No update.
Those guys are still all out.
Still, same scenario with those guys.
Have you reached out to Jeff today to talk to him or anything?
I sent him a text. I hadn't had a chance to talk to him yet, so I plan on hopefully talking with him soon.
What did you think about Gabe in the first 2 games? It seemed like he was in the right place a lot defensively, help, rotation, stuff like that.
I tell you, Gabe is doing a lot of fundamental things right at this point in time. It's amazing, in practice, I think he's learning in practice, but it just seems like when he goes in the game, he plays at a different level. The attention to details are so critical in what we do, and timing is everything. And as you alluded to, he's in the right place at the right time. 3 charges in 2 games. I said the other night, I got guys been here 2-3 years, hadn't taken not 1 charge. And you get a guy that takes 3, and that goes back to protecting the rim. You got ways of protecting that rim. If you can get guys in there can block shots, we got some athletic ability that we can do that. And now you got guys that are in position, to get guys out of control, because our defense is geared to making people, speed them up, play a little faster, out of control. And if you got guys back there in position that can take charges, those are big for us. And so with his play up in this point, I've been real pleased up until this point.
You mentioned you met with Julie. Can you just expand on that meeting a little bit, what was said, and You know her. A lot of people don't. What do you think people can expect over the next few weeks?
Well, we just talked about the situation, and obviously she's going to be in an interim role. And knowing Jeff's going to have good people with him. I think if you look at the people he's hired here, you look at the support staff. They all been first class, since I've got here. So with Julie, I think her best interest is for this program. And so the things we talked about, just keep doing what we're doing, and like I said, just stay focused on what we got to get done, and straight ahead. Let's go full steam, straight ahead. That's what we're doing.
Anything else from Coach? All right, thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.